If I could sit across from my 40-year-old self right now, I would reach across the table and take her hands. And I would say just one thing first. Slow down. Please, slow down. Not because she is moving too fast in the ways people usually mean. Not because she needs to rest more or work less, but because she is moving through her own life at a pace that does not allow her to actually feel it. She is managing it, organizing it, getting through it, but she is not fully living inside it. I know because I was her. And the years I spent managing my life instead of living it are the ones I look back on with the most complicated feelings. Today I want to tell you everything. The things I know at 72 that I would have changed something to know at 40. Not facts you can look up, the other kind. The kind that only arrives after enough time and enough honesty. The first thing is about time. And I know that sounds obvious. Everyone tells you time goes fast. Everyone tells you to cherish it. I heard that my whole life and it did not change anything because I did not understand what it actually meant until it was too late to use the understanding in the way I wanted to. Here's what I wish someone had said to me specifically. The years between 40 and 60 are the years you actually have. The years when you are healthy enough and free enough and resourceful enough to do almost anything you genuinely want to do. And most people spend those years preparing to live rather than living, saving for the future, waiting until the children are older, waiting until the mortgage is smaller, waiting until things settle down. Things do not settle down. They just change into a different version of unsettled. And then one day you are 65 and the knees hurt and the energy is different. And some of the things you were waiting to do require a version of yourself that is no longer quite available. Do not wait. Whatever it is, do not wait. The second thing is about money, and not in the way I usually talk about money. At 40, I had a belief, completely unexamined, that I did not deserve to be wealthy. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way I ever said out loud. Just a quiet, persistent assumption that financial comfort was something that happened to other kinds of people. People who were smarter, or luckier, or more aggressive, or from different backgrounds. That belief shaped every financial decision I made for 20 years, without me knowing it was there. I undersaved. I underasked. I accepted less than I should have accepted in situations where I could have asked for more. I made myself smaller in financial conversations because somewhere underneath I had decided I was not really a financial person. I did not find that belief and examine it until I was in my late 50s. And when I finally looked at it clearly, when I asked myself where it had come from and whether it was actually true, I found that it had come from watching my mother, and it had never been true at all. Examine your money beliefs before they cost you 20 years of decisions. The third thing is about marriage, and this one is personal. I was married 3 times. Each marriage taught me something the previous ones had not. But if I could go back to my 40-year-old self, in the middle of my second marriage, in the years when James and I were becoming strangers to each other in the same house, I would say this. The work of a marriage is not making it last. The work of a marriage is being honest, every single day, about what is actually happening between you. Not the polite version, not the managed version, the real one. James and I were polite to each other for years when we should have been honest. And by the time honesty arrived, it was too late for the marriage, though not for the friendship we eventually built afterward. I wonder sometimes what we might have built together if we had been braver with the truth earlier. I come here every single day because my evenings belong to me now, and I have decided the wisest thing I can do with them is share what I have learned. If today is your first time here, subscribe. I will be here tomorrow. The fourth thing is about friendships, and this one I wish I had understood 20 years earlier. At 40, I had many friendships. At 72, I have very few. and the few I have are the ones that could hold weight. The ones where I could call at a difficult moment and be fully honest about what was happening, and be met with genuine presence rather than polite concern. Most of the friendships I had at 40 could not hold weight. They were surface friendships. Comfortable, pleasant, entirely appropriate for the life I was living at the time, but not the kind you can bring the real things to. I spent years maintaining those surface friendships at the expense of investing in the deeper ones. Because the surface ones were easier. Because depth requires vulnerability, and vulnerability was something I was very careful with for most of my adult life. Find your weight-bearing friendships early. Invest in them specifically and deliberately. They are rarer than they look and more valuable than almost anything else you will build. The fifth thing is something I want to say gently because I know it will land differently for different people. I wish I had been kinder to my body at 40. Not in the way diet culture means. Not smaller, not stricter, not more controlled. Kinder, more patient, more grateful, less critical. At 40, I looked in the mirror and saw everything that was wrong. At 72, I look at photographs from that time, and I see a woman who was strong and capable and vital and had absolutely no idea. I spent years being unkind to a body that was carrying me through everything faithfully, and I would like those years back. Your body at 40 is not a problem to be solved. It is a remarkable thing doing remarkable work. Treat it accordingly. And the one regret I actually have, because people ask me if I have regrets and I usually say no, and that is mostly true, but there is one. I regret the years I spent being less than I was capable of being, because I was afraid of what people would think. Not afraid in a dramatic way, just the constant low hum of self-editing, of making myself slightly smaller, slightly less, slightly more agreeable than I actually was, so that the room would stay comfortable and no one would be unsettled. I did this for decades, in my work, in my marriages, in rooms where my opinion was wanted, and I gave a softened version of it because the real version felt like too much. At 72, I give the real version. I have run out of patience for the softened one, and the rooms have not fallen apart. If anything, they have become more interesting. Stop editing yourself for the comfort of rooms that can handle more than you are giving them. Here is what I know now that I wish I had known at 40. Not a list, just one thing underneath all the others. The life you are waiting to live is the life you are already in. There is no version of your life that starts after the current difficulties resolve. There is no chapter that begins when things settle. This, right now, with all its complications and imperfections and unresolved questions. This is it. This is the life. And it is, I promise you, worth showing up for fully. Thank you for sitting with me today. I will be here tomorrow. Come sit with me.